Amelia Heber's husband had died. It was not until years later that she had the courage to open his old dusty trunk. What she found there has blessed worship services around the world. Reginald Heber was born April 21st, 1783, to a minister and his wife in a small English village. He had a happy childhood and a good education in the village school. By the time he was 7, Heber was translating the Latin classics into English. He enrolled at Oxford at 17, where he excelled in poetry and became fast friends with Sir Walter Scott, the Scottish novelist, poet, and historian. Following graduation, he succeeded his father as vicar in his family's parish, and for 16 years Heber faithfully served his flock. His bent toward poetry naturally gave him a keen and growing interest in hymnody. He sought to lift the literary quality of hymns, and he also dreamed of publishing a collection of high-caliber hymns corresponding to the church calendar for use by liturgical churches. But the Bishop of London would not go along with it, and Heber's plans were crushed. Undeterred by the bishop's opposition, Heber continued writing hymns for his own church. It was there during the 16 years that he spent in the obscure parish in Hodnet, England, that Heber wrote all 57 of his hymns. These included the great missionary hymn, From Greenland's Icy Mountains, which exhorted believers to take the gospel to faraway places like Greenland's icy mountains and India's coral strand. This hymn represented an earnest desire in Reginald, for he often felt God was calling him as a missionary to India's coral strand. His desire was fulfilled in 1822, when, at the age of 40, he was appointed to oversee the Church of England's ministries in India. Arriving in Calcutta, he set out on a 16-month tour of his diocese, visiting mission stations across India. As he traveled, he grew to love the people of India. He was deeply touched by their poverty and by the great spiritual needs of the people. His burning desire was to bring the hope of the gospel to every soul. In February of 1826, he left for another tour. While in the village of Trichinopoly, on April 3, 1826, he preached to a large crowd in the hot sun and afterward plunged into a pool of cool water. From the shock, he tragically suffered a stroke and drowned. Many years after his death, his widow opened his old travel trunk and found the hymns he had written while serving that small parish in Hodnet. Amelia determined to see his works published. Her husband's dreams finally came true, and because of the fateful work of Reginald Heber, we can today sing the great Trinitarian hymn, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty.